At 7:03 a.m., I opened my front door in slippers to a bright orange envelope taped to my glass. Inside, a $250 fine from my HOA for defacing common property. The crime. My 6-year-old daughter Lily drew a rainbow on the sidewalk with chalk. By sunset, there would be TV cameras on my street, 2 police officers shaking their heads, and the mayor signing a chalk drawing. But at 7:03 a.m., I was just a dad with coffee and a very colorful sidewalk. I stared at the letter like it might rewrite itself. Violation. Defacement of common elements. Section 7.2. Evidence attached. They even included photos, time stamped at 6:18 a.m. Who takes pre-dawn pictures of a rainbow? I walked outside. The rainbow was still there, soft and fading at the edges the way chalk does when dew hits it. Our neighbor Jerry waved from across the street. "Nice art," he said. "You starting a gallery?" "Apparently a crime scene," I said, and showed him the letter. He laughed, then stopped laughing when he realized I wasn't joking. Inside, I called the number at the bottom of the notice. A woman from the management company answered in a voice that had never once seen a chalk rainbow. "Yes, Mr. Daniels, chalk is considered defacement under our guidelines." "Even on the public sidewalk?" I asked. "It's common property," she said. "Pay within 10 days to avoid additional penalties." "What additional penalties?" "Late fees, suspension of amenities, and potential lien procedures." She said the word lien like a judge bangs a gavel. I hung up and opened my laptop. If you want to get an HOA to back off, you need 2 things: the actual law and a printer. 10 minutes later, I was on the city website reading municipal code. And there it was, public right-of-way. Sidewalks are maintained by the city. Temporary, water-soluble markings, chalk, do not constitute defacement. Only permanent markings require permits. I printed the page, highlighted it like it was a high school test. I also checked our HOA plat map. The sidewalks along our street were city-owned easements, not HOA property. I scanned the violation letter again. It didn't reference any city code, just the catch-all Section 7.2, no defacing of common elements. This was a blanket rule, being thrown at something they didn't control. I emailed the management company, a short note, a copy of the municipal code, our plat map, and a friendly line. "Happy to discuss. Please rescind the fine." Their reply arrived in an hour. Not what I expected. "Upon review, the board has determined this is a violation. An additional $50 late fee will apply if unpaid by Friday." They doubled down. On chalk. I took a breath. Then a photo. I posted it in our neighborhood Facebook group with a simple caption: "HOA fined us $250 for my 6-year-old sidewalk chalk rainbow. Should I frame it or wash it away?" Within minutes, comments exploded. Parents, grandparents, teenagers, everyone had a story. The energy was building. I didn't want to just argue. I wanted to win, cleanly and with a smile. So I called City Hall. The receptionist transferred me to Public Works. A guy named Marco answered. "Chalk on public sidewalk? Not an issue," he said. "We love it when kids draw. Keeps us from getting complaints about potholes." "Can I host a chalk event on our block?" I asked. "You'll need a simple special event notice so we can be aware and maybe put out a sawhorse," he said. "If you keep it on the sidewalk and not in the street, you're golden. Also, if it's for charity, you might get a little media love." That afternoon, I wrote a 2-paragraph email to the mayor's office. Subject line: "Community Chalk Walk for Charity, Family Event." I explained the fine, attached the municipal code, and pitched a Saturday chalk walk to raise money for the Children's Hospital Art Therapy Program. Would the mayor consider stopping by to sign a chalk square? I hit send, laughed at myself, and went to rinse off Lily's hands. 5 minutes later, my phone buzzed. The mayor's communications director wrote, "This sounds delightful. The mayor loves community art. What time Saturday? I stared at my phone. Did that really just happen? The rest of the plan came together fast. I pulled the simple event notice, printed the permit confirmation email, and called it Chalk Walk for charity. I made a flyer. Bright colors, big letters, bring chalk. Bring smiles. We'll bring the water hose. Jerry offered his driveway for donations and a cooler with popsicles. 3 teens down the block volunteered to make a photo wall with a giant chalk frame. I sent a courtesy email to the HOA. Heads up, chalk walk on the public sidewalk. This Saturday, permitted via city notice, raising funds for the Children's Hospital. The mayor may drop by. You're invited. Also, still waiting on you to rescind that fine. The reply the next morning was, spicy. The HOA does not authorize events on common property. Cease and desist or the HOA will call the police. Failure to remove chalk within 24 hours will result in further fines. I forwarded that email to Marco at Public Works and the mayor's staff. Just keeping everyone in the loop, I wrote. We'll be on the public sidewalk with your notice. Marco replied with the most beautiful sentence. You're fine. Saturday came bright and clear. Lily was up before me, wearing a shirt with a cartoon sun. We set out a donation jar labeled Art Helps Hearts, a stack of chalk boxes, and a hand-lettered sign, Ask Before You Photograph Kids. By 10 a.m., our sidewalk looked like a pastel runway. Families arrived with strollers. A retired art teacher kneeled to draw a perfect lighthouse. A high schooler did a 3D illusion of a cracked road with koi fish swimming beneath. Someone wrote, Be kind, in letters so big you could read it from the corner. Then the HOA made its entrance. The president, a woman named Diane with a tan visor and a clipboard, marched up like she was deputized by gravity. With her were 2 board members and a man I'd never met. The man carried a novelty-sized tape measure, as if he were going to measure the audacity. Mr. Daniels, Diane said, this is an unauthorized event. You were warned. I smiled and handed her a copy of the city notice. Public sidewalk, I said. Temporary chalk. We'll rinse at sundown. She didn't look at the paper. Public or not, this reflects on the community. We have standards. Standards like rainbows? Jerry muttered behind me. Diane turned to him. Jerry, your hedge is non-compliant. We can discuss that Monday. Before I could respond, a white SUV pulled up, and a man stepped out with a camera on his shoulder. The logo on the side said Channel 8 News. He looked at the rainbow runway, then at the clipboard brigade, then back at me. We got your email, he said. Mind if we roll? Roll away, I said. Diane took a step forward. This is private. It's a public sidewalk, I reminded her again. Right then, a police car turned the corner, lights off, and parked respectfully half a block away. 2 officers got out, hands relaxed. They strolled over, looked at the chalk, and grinned. Afternoon, one said. We got a call about chalk. That would be us, I said. We have a city notice for a sidewalk art event. He glanced at the paper, nodded, and handed it back. Looks good to me. Only thing illegal here is that drawing of a cat. It's too cute. The camera guy chuckled. Diane's clipboard drooped. The man with the tape measure tried to measure the sidewalk, then gave up and pretended to measure a daisy. At 11:15, a small city sedan rolled up. A woman popped out, waved, and then the mayor stepped out wearing sneakers and a baseball cap. She high-fived Lily and asked, Where do I sign? Anywhere, Lily said, eyes wide. The mayor knelt on the concrete, drew a sun with sunglasses, and wrote, Community Control. The crowd cheered. The camera guy captured it all. The officers took a selfie with the kids, badges off camera. The donation jar filled. Even the tape measure man put in a 20. Diane watched, cheeks tight. She turned to me, voice low. This is reckless. You're making a mockery of the board? No, I said softly. We're making a memory for kids, and we're staying. Within the law. She opened her mouth, then closed it when the mayor stood and shook my hand. Thanks for showing off the best of our city, the mayor said. We can use more of this. By evening, my front yard looked like an art festival, had exhaled. We brought out a hose and volunteers helped rinse the sidewalk, the art blending into watercolor streams that chased down the gutter. Lily said goodbye to her rainbow like it was a friend going home. We counted the donations, $1,842. Jerry cried. He blamed the hose water in his eyes. At 8 p.m., an email landed in my inbox from the property manager. Upon further review, the board has decided to rescind the violation issued to your property. We apologize for any inconvenience. 2 days later, a more formal message went out to the community. The board is updating guidelines to clarify that temporary water-soluble markings on public sidewalks are not prohibited. We appreciate residents' cooperation. It wasn't an apology. It was a policy, which, frankly, is better. The best part? The Channel 8 story ran with the headline, "Chalk Walk Turns HOA Spat into Charity Win." The shot of the mayor drawing a sun played for 11 seconds in glorious HD. The comments online were full of people sharing their own chalk memories, their own overreaching board stories, their own wins. A week later, I saw Diane walking her tiny dog past my driveway. She didn't make eye contact, but she paused at the sidewalk and looked down where the rainbow had been. Only a faint tint remained. She glanced up at me, nodded once, and walked on. Not a truce, but maybe a treaty. Here's what I learned. Know the map. If it's public property, an HOA can't regulate it. Get the municipal code and the plat map. Print them, highlight them, smile, play to the sunshine. Paper tigers hate daylight. If you're right, invite witnesses, neighbors, media, city officials. Not to humiliate, but to educate. Turn no into a why not. If you can transform a confrontation into a community win, do it. It's harder to be petty when kids are laughing and a donation jar is filling up. And for the record, chalk washes away. But so does fear when you stand up, gently, firmly, for what's right. If you like stories where bullies meet a brightly colored wall of community, hit subscribe, drop a like, and tell me your wildest HOA moment in the comments. I'll bring the chalk, you bring the sun.